Hey, what's up? This is Drake here. I was going to come back with another, or with a Palworld video, I should say. I never really thought I'd be making one of these, but honestly, I was bored waiting on Wild to come out, so I started playing some Palworld and come up with a pretty decent base setup system. I'm not saying that it's the absolute best, but for me, it has worked out to where all of my production goods are basically on auto production, and all I have to do is go collect the chromite manually, and that's just because like you can't do it without some way of finding it, so the pals can't mine it for you, but everything else is basically just automated. And I will say I've got my settings tweaked so that I can have 10 bases active with 50 pals at each, and I've changed all the production, everything, so everything respawns faster and all of that. So I mean, if you're just farming materials, I see no harm in changing it over. It's not really cheating when the game allows you to do it. As you can see, we've got a fairly decent supply. Even the hexalite quartz, which is really slow and to come by, and there's really not a good base. I found two pretty decent base locations that have put out like 10,000 hexalite in the last day. So yeah, but first we'll go over, this is, I wouldn't say this is best base location, but I kind of like this one. Now, my buddy helped me set up this first one, but I've kind of expanded it from there and turned it into 4. But you can see the coordinates down in the bottom left corner. It's 404 by minus 319. And this base location wound up being pretty good. But what I did is I set this one up. I'm not going to go over specific pals. If you want to breed any pals that you see here, there's really good apps. It's like Paltopia or Pal something. You can download them on your phone or however, and that's what I did. And honestly, it's really easy to make most of these fairly early in the game. But yeah, this is just my production. I just put all beds upstairs, and the expedition thing is further up out of the way. Now, I found that I've got extra beds because I did have more before I moved them. On the production, you can go pretty basic. Like, you don't need anything special. You just need a couple hot springs, and their food really is, if you're producing a lot, you probably want to feed them salad, but if not, then just any basic food will do. Now, I set this one up as the ore. Now, the ore mining ones are probably the most high maintenance. Now, you don't have to set it up in this particular way, but for some reason, these ore mining outcrops make them go crazy really quickly, so you need a lot of, I guess, creature comfort, a lot of things to keep their sanity up. And I don't have the best, like I've got the top pals, but I haven't leveled any of them up, so they're just kind of base level. And really, I wasn't planning on it. They do the job just fine like it is. I'm mainly just going to go over locations, so I'll go over it quickly, but I like to make them salad. Salad's easy to come by, and it gives them 11 sanity every time they eat. But yeah, I set this up as mining. I mean, we've got stone, we've got ore, we've got coal, we've got sulfur, and pure quartz going here. And on the mining bases, I found out that you need like high quality hot springs like per 5 pals or so. Because see, we got now we got 16 out, and we've got 3 hot springs. Because they need to take a lot of breaks when they're mining. It's really, like you can see still, we got 1 in the hot springs. We got 3 in the hot springs and 1 still waiting on it. So a 4th one wouldn't be bad, but about 1 per every 5 keeps them from going insane too bad. And you want all high quality beds, some bigger beds for the bigger pals, so that, and that'll keep them pretty well. I'd say you won't have 1 go down every now and again, but you won't be losing 50-60% production because they're all going crazy. Now, this is where I set up my farming, and it's just in turn night on me. Or I say farming, this is my ranching, I guess you would say. And my breeding farms are here. Now, these are pretty low maintenance, honestly. You can just have 1 hot spring. You don't have to have anything particular for food. And just straw beds are fine. Because for the most part, these dudes just stay in the ranch. Now, we've got wool production, honey production, pal fluid production, flame organ production. That's milk and eggs. And these dudes drop high quality pal oil for making the polymer and stuff, and more milk, eggs, and honey, basically for cake production for the breeding farms over here. So I don't have any going at the moment. And I've got my settings tweaked so that the eggs are ready to hatch instantly. We'll go rest since it's going to turn nighttime on us. But yeah, like I said, I didn't say this isn't one of my recommended base locations, but it wound up being pretty good. And I kind of love I'll show it in a second, the huge pyramid that I built. Now, I'm not a Palworld expert by no means. I just play this for fun, like I said, just to kill time. And I've been helping my daughter, so I've been finding bases for her. And we're waiting for crossplay to come out, so I've just been finding base locations for her, finding the best setups. And this one is my farming base. I figured out, like, at your food production bases, really all you need is just one cooled food bowl and one anything. It's just level 1, any type of pet to cool that has cooling will do. A level 1 is fine. One of the penguins, they never get stressed, they never sleep, they never move. They just stay there and chill. But yeah, they will place all the food in there, which keeps it refrigerated, and they only eat from the first slot, so just keep the stuff that you want them to eat in the first slot, and the rest of it just stays refrigerated without actually having to build a refrigerator or have any electric production or anything. So that's pretty cool. And I think my washing machine's going crazy in the background. That's cool. Yeah, but we got like a couple of berries, some lettuce, and we've got a bunch of wheat because it takes a lot of wheat to produce flour. We got some tomatoes, carrots, and potatoes. Honestly, I could use another tomato one, but for now it's doing fine. You got a meal over here for making flour, and this one's pretty simple. Like, they just need one high quality hot springs and just regular straw beds is fine. Any type of food will work because they're not highly stressed. But that's it for my main base here. And like I said, the upstairs are just beds. And this thing's got 8 floors in it. But honestly, I just did that because I wanted a huge ass pyramid. I'll show it. Like, yeah, this is the pyramid. If you're curious, this thing is 40 by 40 square on the ground. And if I had it do again, I would scoot it as far to this front corner as I possibly could, like right up here, because it doesn't like it when I fly close to it. It's got so much generation that it makes the game lag out. But yeah, because this corner here wound up not being able to be finished because it just would not allow me to put down foundations right here. There might have been some way to cheese it, but I just kind of clipped the corner off and it worked out fine. And I've got a staircase going. Oof, like I said, it does not like it when I fly close to it. Yeah, I've got a staircase going down here, going through it, but we won't show that. It's just pretty neat. I set some campfires on each one of the things just so it's lit up at nighttime. And one other perk to this base, and I didn't do this intentionally, it actually winds up right across from the level 55 oil rig that you will eventually have to farm at some point for the ancient civilization cores. That's the best way I found to farm them. Run in there. Now, I tweaked my damage settings so I could run it quickly because you only get 1 to 5 ancient civilization cores, and you need 30 just to produce this thing, 5 to produce this, so you need 35, so you get 1 to 5 per run, and you can get them 1 per run from the PAL expedition, so it works out really well for that. And now we'll show the main locations, like the production one, if I can get in here without blowing up my... I love Jet Dragon, but navigating him through small spaces can be a little difficult. And on my pyramid, I left it like not touching the roof. So, I mean, it would probably crash the game because it's generating so much. But you can fly straight up to the top without ever having to stop from the front here. All right, and I'll kind of do them in order of how I would have set them up if I'd have known about this previous. Like most people start out, and I did, with your first base, like, let's see, where is it? Yeah, leave it right in here. Like right here is where I had my first base at, and I wound up destroying it, move it elsewhere. Now my second base I set up is here, and this is when you get to where you're needing ore. Now this is still the best ore producing one that I have, so I just kept it. You see the coordinates is 72 and minus 400. We'll travel over here. But there's like, I think 9 or 10 ore nodes here, and once you set your settings for the nodes to respawn as quickly as possible, you get a lot of ore production. And because this area is, I don't know, I guess maybe it's behind a church or something, really no other random pals wander into this area, so you don't even have to put walls around it or anything. They are perfectly fine just with it being open. And I've got some wood production and ore production going right here. And now since this is a mining base, I've got, as you see, there's 13. I've got 2 hot springs. I had to come back and put the high quality beds for them so they wouldn't get super stressed out. But food, yeah, just some eggs is fine for this one. It's one ranch. But yeah, this one here produces, as you can see, all the ore on the ground. It produces a lot of ore. Alright, probably third in order of operations. Now I did set one up here. I don't have it anymore. Right around here there's like 4 or 5 coal nodes once you get to needing coal. And it was a pretty good base, but honestly I wish I would have known about this location because I would have set it up first, because I wound up having to move this setup just simply because this location has 2 oil nodes and like 9 coal nodes right here. So the amount of production is far increased. As you can see, they're over here mining the coal, and they haven't been delivering the oil much, but we got like, yeah, like so nearly probably 800 oil just sitting in standby here. And you can see they're producing a lot of coal. There's a few trees over here, so I've got a little bit of wood production. And on this one, they're pretty chill just with just any regular food. Got the ore shakes over here producing electricity over it. But yeah, since they're mining, I got like 2 hot springs, and they just got straw beds. Usually if the outcrops, you know, are natural and they have a little downtime, they don't really go too crazy. It's the ones that you put down that seem to make them go crazy because it never despawns and they never stop working. Now for the electric production on the oil, I found that you need 1 coil per 1 oil rig. So I've got 3 here. And yeah, fun fact, I wish I would have moved this. This is a little bit too close. It wouldn't allow me to get 2 on it. Now putting the 2 can be a little tricky. You just kind of have to fiddle with it until you get it as far back as possible, and then it will barely work. But this one, I set my PAL box a little too close, so it would not let me put 2 here. I didn't want to destroy the whole base to do it, so we just kind of went with that. Also, guild chests are awesome. I put one of these in each of my bases, and if you make this the only box in your base, they will deliver specifically to it, and all your stuff, you don't even have to come collect it. They just auto put it into, see, they're adding coal right now. They just auto put it into the guild box, and you have access from your main base. So you don't even have to travel here ever, really, if you don't want to. They will deliver this oil. It's just they seem to prioritize the stuff on the ground over this. But yeah, also I found that you need one of these, the battery backups, the power capacitors, for each oil node too. And what that does is at nighttime when they sleep, they stop producing electricities. These will go down to 0. Once they're at 0, your oil production stops. But one of these per 1, and I actually built 4 on this one because I was planning on putting 4, but I didn't. But yeah, one of these and 1 battery backup will keep it producing all night long, and it will increase your oil production by quite a bit, because usually if you don't, about halfway through the night they quit producing, and you quit getting oil production. All right, the other location, and I would say, you know, this is getting later on into the game, is this one here. And this one I found on a video. Like, this is probably the only place you can get 3 oil nodes in one base. But I still kind of prefer the other one, just because it's got more coal production. But yeah, as you can see, we've basically got 5 here, and I set it up that way. You got 1 and 1 for each, so that they never stop producing even overnight. Got 1 guild chest. I meant to show the coordinates on that. Yeah, this one is -855, -454, or minus, as you should say it. And I'm pretty sure I showed this one. If I didn't, coordinates on this one is 293 and 240. But yeah. And you know, the ore sects are level 4 electric generating, so they're really good for that. And honestly, they don't get stressed just doing that for some reason. So you really don't have to have a fancy setup. You can just have straw beds, some eggs for food, and I've just got 1 hot spring here because the ore sects never really need the hot spring because they never really get stressed, honestly. And also, another fun fact, I wish I would have moved this just a little bit further, because this node here is just a little too close to my boundary to be able to get a second one in there without shifting the whole base over just a little bit. So I just put a 5th one in. So if you're looking for 6, I would make sure that that boundary there is just a little bit further over this node to be able to get. But yeah, this is the best oil production one. Honestly, I kind of prefer the other one better. And there's another location, like right over here, I think, somewhere right in here, that has got 2 oil nodes and like 9 more coal nodes. So honestly, that would be probably the better location. You would drop 1 oil rig, but your coal production would be just out of sight. Now this is the Favorite Island, and I set up 2 bases here. I did this one primarily as a fast travel point. Whoops, I guess I need to go to the box, huh? But yeah, I set it up as a fast travel, and then I figured out a way to tweak it a little bit and to get some hexalite production. Honestly, when I set this one up, my hexalite quartz just skyrocketed. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a glitch. They don't appear to be mining that much, but I mean, it like quadrupled my hexalite quartz production when I set this one up. Now this one's a little weird. I don't think it actually intended for you to set a base up here, but we managed to get it to work. And coordinates on this one is -899 and -1296, or minus, however you want to say it. Yeah, this one's not too stressed out, so you really don't need much. And for some reason, like, they can't access this, but you can build a little foundation here and just a stair, another foundation, and it allows them to access that point. But they still, for some reason, will not harvest these trees. That's why I put this here, just so he'd have something to do. But for some reason, I could not get them to harvest these trees. And the only way they can access this is if you put the stairwell here. But the main reason we put this here is there's a hexalite quartz node that spawns there, and there's another one that spawns right over there. We managed to get 2 in here. And if you've had any dealing with the hexalite quartz, you know they're scattered pretty far, so it is hard to get anything in any type of base. And the other reason that we put this base here is just for a fast travel point. And now for the chromite, and I had to build these gates through here because it would not let me build the foundation or the defensive walls in the water, but it will allow you to build the gates. So if you want to set this location up, just keep in mind that these are going to be gates, and I had a little gap there, and just try to start out with your gates, place them accordingly so that you can get your walls to set up on the ground. But it works, and like I said, I mean, they're not doing any right now because they haven't respawned. But I set this up like yesterday, I think, and they've produced, and for some reason I can't climb up there. they've produced like 9,000 hexalite quart in a day. And these, get out of here, dudes. That's right here, but yeah, I put the other one here because they got this. You got the cave here where the chromite spawns, and now you can leave in the comments. Has anybody noticed, like, since before the update, I was getting 4 nodes spawning in here, but after the update, I haven't seen but 1. Did they nerf it somehow? I mean, I'm not 100%, but like they updated it, what, yesterday, day before, and I haven't been able to get but 1 node to spawn in here at a time where it used to be 4. Just get off this, dude. And if you didn't know, you need a smoky or a metal detector. Do his, like, yeah, I mean, I've only been able to get this 1 node right here to spawn. But yeah, this is like one of the best locations to get the chromite, and it still gives you 300 per time of doing it. But before, there was 4 that spawned in here. There was like 1 on each corner. But now there's only 1. I'm assuming in the update, I don't know if it was an intentional nerf or not, but there's not 4 in here anymore. All right, and then we'll go over to the last location. I was trying to keep this video a little short. I said I'm not a Palworld expert. I haven't went through hundreds and hundreds of hours of breeding to get the perfect pals, none of that. I just play it casually with my daughter. But yeah, I come across these base locations, and it makes production a whole lot easier. Like, if you need some goods, just turn your game on, leave it set and idle, go do whatever you want to, come back, and you'll have thousands upon thousands of whatever you need. These guys have respawned already. Yeah, I might have to take them out, or they'll be engaging me inside my base. Let's see, they were trying to help. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's a glitch on this location or not, but for some reason they produce an enormous amount of the hexalite quartz when it's active. Alright, and now for the last location, and it's just basically another hexalite quartz location because they're so hard to get. Like, each node only gives like 120, and I think it takes like 12 to do 1 hexalite. So each node literally only does 10. Now this location here is, I looked it up on a video also, but it's the only one that has 3 nodes in one place that you can put in a base, and they all spawn around this NPC right here. And this location is minus 1064 and minus 1431. But yeah, there's 3 hexalite quartz that spawn right here. So it's one of the best places to, and after the update, it seems to be working better. Like before, they did not want to engage it at all. I think it was because this NPC is here. But yeah, now they will mine it pretty good. And I said, because there's only 7 here, you don't need a whole lot. Those hexalite quartz don't respawn really quickly, so 1 hot springs is sufficient. And just some eggs for them food. Straw beds are fine, but you definitely want defensive walls around all of your bases except for the one, the ore mining one, because it seems to be fine. But if not, like on Fabric Island here, everything engages instantly, and they will just constantly be coming in and killing your pals. You won't be able to get anything accomplished. But these defensive walls actually stop them from engaging with outside stuff, so they're really good. And they're pretty lenient on terrain. Like, they will build through and around almost anything in any way, so they're a lot easier to set up than anything else. And if you have an issue with something setting up, just swap to a gate. A defensive gate serves the same purpose and keeps them producing. But yeah, I mean, that's it. I was just I was going to do a basic rundown of like the best locations that I found in the game for producing everything except for chromite, just passively. You don't have to do the main quad base that I've got. I kind of like it just because, honestly, I don't like having up to 50 pals on one base, just simply because it's just too much going on. They get stuck on each other. They wind up glitching. Like, I loaded in this morning and it had unassigned my pal from, and I need to get rid of these. It had unassigned my chillet from my refrigerator, so all my stuff was going bad. And it was simply because he got hung on something and it just auto unassigned him. So like the more pals you have in a base, it seems like the more glitches you run into, the more problems you have and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically it. My top base locations in Palworld to get all your stuff basically automated. So all you got to do is honestly just start the stuff up and start them making it. You know, you can see we'll just start them up, making 51 hexalite, and we'll let them go. And all the stuff is just auto being produced. And put one of these guild chests in each one of your bases, and in your production bases, make that be the only chest they have, so they're just auto loading this stuff in here. As you can see, we've got nearly another full stack of everything just from them putting it in there. But that's it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, drop a sub. If you have any questions or have any tips, because like I said, I'm not a Palworld expert. I've only got about 100 hours in the game. But yeah, if you have any tips, leave them in the comments. And yeah, that's about it. Like I said, I'm just waiting on Wilds to come out. Once it comes out, I'm gonna be on there probably all the time. Might wind up with a divorce over it. But yeah, that's what it is. All right, y'all have a good one. Later.